Good morning. I feel like it's a talk show. Uh, Hi, I'm Mary Robert Garrett, she, her, hers, the Dean of Faculty Development, here with
Paula Hansford, the purchasing card coordinator or administrator. He,
she, her, hers.
she,
Yep.
her. Yeah.
And we're going to walk you through some points that we want you to remember when you're approving P card purchases. Okay. And we will get to the next slide right now. Okay, so the overview of what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about what does it mean to approve the P card purchasing, what to look for when you're doing that approval, and then we're going to look at the report review process. Okay, so if we look at the purchasing card policy, card supervisors, which would be you as a department chair, are responsible for just three things: assuring that the transactions are appropriate in amount, the type, and then the FOAP, the banner general ledger account, so what account that's going to. Once this information has been verified, the card supervisor must check the approved box in Chrome River. But we're going to talk about what that means, what you'll see, and where to go with that information. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
All right, so you're probably familiar. We get an email from Emburse Enterprise from Chrome River, and it lists a report. We have a lovely report here submitted by Tiffany Lindsay. Amazing. And so you can go through and see a pretty brief summary on that email. And as you're working through the email, you can see some highlights. But I have to admit that when I was a department chair, I used to go straight to this approve because it does say take action on these expenses, either take the following steps. Click on approve or return. But what we want to highlight today is how important it is to actually go to the very bottom of that email where it says click here, because you want to be able to see the receipts and all of the information behind the report. So that's what we're going to look at next. Okay, so when you're looking at that full report, here are some things that you want to touch on. You want
Okay.
to
If it's a travel report, for example, a conference report, you need to make sure the conference program is on there, the conference fee, how did they travel, just kind of glance over it and make sure that all of those are allocated appropriately.
Good. And so, and one thing that people have shared with us is they said, well, we didn't always have to submit those conference programs. And so actually, and I'm going to point this out. So, in previous years, Paula has been going back and searching, Googling for those conference programs when they weren't submitted. So I'm going to ask you to help Paula out here and go ahead and submit that program. And this could be a screenshot of a program. There might be a long program that's attached or linked. And so if you can give those the important pieces,
Mhm.
but it's got to have the dates,
Yes,
right?
because we have to confirm that the dates of the conference match the dates of the travel and make sure that it was all business related.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why it's just really important to go ahead and include that with the original report. And again, the receipts itemized so that you can see what part of that is from the conference registration, what part of it might be meals that are included in the conference. Those are really important to share too. Okay, so let's talk mileage.
Okay,
Okay,
let's talk mileage.
let's talk mileage.
Okay.
So is mileage reimbursement for more than 300 miles round trip? If so, it must be pre-approved, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
There are always exceptions to our policies. For example, I've had a couple recently that took a screenshot of a flight to their destination and driving in their own personal car and back was less than the flight.
Okay.
So they presented that to their supervisor and it was approved. So therefore it's okay. It's acceptable.
Good.
Saved college funds.
Great. Great. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. And then The last one that's on this list that's covered by the closed caption box, was the taxi or Uber necessary while at the conference? So if so, briefly state why. So you want to add that bit. So you've got the receipt, the reimbursement, but you want to include just briefly, this was from the airport to the hotel. This was from the hotel to the conference center.
Or hotel to dinner and dinner and back. There has to, an auditor must be able to see that there was a business purpose to it. If not, the auditor can assume that it was a personal taxi expense, and then you will get to pay it back.
Yeah. So include those details so that it's just clear from the beginning. All right. What else to look for? Meals. So it's important to include internal guests and external guests. Do you want to speak to this?
Sure. Internal guests are all Berea College employees. External guests are everybody else, such as a guest speaker, a donor, students, and those you have to create in your own account. You create them, and once you've created them, they're stored in there for future use.
Yeah, and again, like the BIST courses, when you're going out with a group of 20 students, you don't have to include those individual names. You can include it as BIST students. But if it's under 8, all of those individuals should be named.
Correct.
Okay, let's talk about gas. We're talking about fuel, that is. P cards should never be used for gas. Car share should have a car for the fuel,
Should have.
should have it. Um, and tell us what to do if that's not the case.
If you have a car share without a card, or if it's not functioning, then go ahead and use your P card. But then contact me or someone in finance to get the allocation code for car share. So your department won't have to pay for that gas.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's look at the next. Okay, tax exempt. If you know you are traveling in Kentucky, Florida, Illinois, Kansas, Maine, Missouri, New York, Ohio, Tennessee, and Wyoming, you want to go ahead of time with a tax exempt form. Go ahead, make a couple of copies,
Yeah.
few copies, bring those with you. You'll want to present it to the hotel. You'll want to present it maybe to where else would you
Well, the
present?
second, I always say take two because you presented at check-in, and hopefully whenever you go to check out, it will be tax exempt. Often that's not the case. So then you have a second copy in case they can't locate the original one. And then you can have that corrected there before you leave the property. Once you leave the property and there's tax on the hotel on any of the states that was mentioned, then you have to contact them. And it's a lot easier just to get it done up front. Now, there's a lot of states, Illinois and Ohio, I know, are changing their rules.
Okay.
So if you present a tax exempt form at a hotel and they refuse, please put a note on the report in a local comment section, because if not, then I have to reach out to you and you have to email me back, and it just saves everybody some time.
Yeah. So again, and you're the P card approver, so you just want to make sure if you know that if this travel is happening because you're getting informed of those professional development funds, that you talk with your colleague and make sure that they have that appropriate forms, documents. Okay, some disallowed purchases. Okay, travel and flight insurance. I will go ahead and admit I did this wrong. I signed up for travel insurance one time because I thought, well, I'm doing the right thing. I'm getting insured, but we actually have that taken care of us, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so don't ask for extra insurance. You don't have to do that. Flight upgrades, preferred seatings on flights, add-ons for enterprise rental vehicles, alcohol, meal provided by a conference, gifts for colleagues or students, over-the-counter medication, umbrellas, personal care items, personal entertainment, and clothing. So those are disallowed.
Let me
Go
make a
ahead.
comment. Alcohol is permitted in certain circumstances. If you have an outside guest, like a guest speaker come in or a donor, you are allowed to purchase alcohol on your P card, but never just two employees together.
Okay,
You have to have an outside external guest.
that's a good point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, Yeah. And so will you tell us real quick if somebody like all there were comfort seats on the airplane. So they had to purchase
The seats.
an extra,
Good point. Thank you. Um, if you are booking a flight and you have to fly out on that specific day at time, and there are no free seats or free,
seats, yeah.
free seats
Yeah,
available,
main cabin.
main cabin, and you must, to get on that flight, purchase those tickets, then please take a screenshot of that where it's all booked up and you had to make the purchase. If not, you will be responsible to reimburse the college for that expense.
Yeah. I hope one of the things that you're noticing here, it's just providing information. It's just helping Paula understand the circumstances for these purchases. And so there is flexibility if
Mhm.
something was necessary, but we just want Paula to understand what that is.
Yeah, and reach out to me if you have any questions. I'll take team calls, phone calls,
Yeah,
pop in. But a 5-minute conversation will save an hour's worth of time on the other end.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. Purchases for students. Any gift, textbook, graduation, celebration token must be purchased with personal funds. Do you want to go more into that?
Yeah, that's a federal thing. Of course, our entire policies are all IRS policies. That Berea College did not make this up. We
Yeah.
borrowed it, as most universities have. So it is federal regulation
Mhm.
that you cannot use college funds to purchase anything for a student. Um, I'm talking outside the meals and travel
Mhm.
and stuff. I'm talking like a book or a gift or a souvenir.
What about graduation cords?
Graduation cords, you can buy those with your P card. However, you must report that purchase to financial aid.
Okay.
I did that just yesterday. Somebody bought 12, and I just had to get the 12 names and I sent it over to financial aid, which then impacts their financial aid package.
Yeah, so those gifts, those can be done with personal funds,
Yeah.
but if they are with P card, if it is with college money, then it's reported as going to that student, and so it is a gift to that student, so it does impact financial aid. So just so you're aware of that. Okay, anything there? Anything else?
A lot of people like to do gifts for students at
Mhm.
Christmas and graduation. That's great. We encourage it. But in our department, we just take donations. We say, so and so's taking the money, so and so go purchase it. You're not obligated to donate. And then, so we're paying for the gifts out of our pockets, not
Yeah,
the P card.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit more about meals. Okay. Excuse me. Purchasing meals for Berea College colleagues to discuss business. This should be done very infrequently. Do you want to give some more on that one?
Sure. The policy actually states if you have a meal with just a colleague without an external guest, then you have to have either an itinerary or a summary of the meeting. You have to give a statement as to why you had to do that over a meal, why you couldn't meet any other time of the day, and it should be very infrequently.
Yeah. And then let's see. Yeah, so I guess that covered our
Mhm.
second bullet as well. So, yeah, so if you could
Okay.
hold that any other time, then that's
Yeah, you
preferably.
should. You
Mhm.
should. It's just not wise to use the college funds to have a meal on.
Yeah, just to
I
talk.
mean, if you're traveling, you're donors, you've got a speaker guest, sure, but it's really frowned upon to use the P card for your personal meals.
Yeah. Okay. Um,
Oh, let me make one exception.
yes, yes.
There's another exception that's been made by the AC.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, the policy originally stated that a lunch purchased must have a lodging expense, but AC changed it. You can buy lunch while you're out traveling on business if you leave your home before 7 a.m. and return after 8 p.m. So basically, you've got a 13-hour day. Then
Yeah.
you can buy lunch, not a breakfast, not a dinner, only a lunch.
Yeah, so that means if you were going to a conference in Lexington,
Hmm.
and let's say you were going to be in Lexington, the conference was a half day conference.
Hmm.
So if I'm driving to Lexington and I had to be there at 8, and let's say it was done at 3,
Hmm.
would I be able to buy lunch with my P card?
No,
Okay.
no. You have to leave your home before 7 a.m. and return after 8 p.m.
Okay.
Um, and it doesn't happen very often, but it does. And because the college sees whether you're working in Lexington or in your office, your lunch is your personal
Yeah, you
expense.
would have to bring your lunch to work
Yeah.
anyway. Okay. All right, let's look at the review process. So we want to talk about these and then we'll
Sure.
pull up yours. Okay.
Okay. Itemized hotel expense, lodging, parking and Wi-Fi. That we're talking about when you're allocating a lodging expense, a hotel
Hmm.
expense, there's going to be a little, and I'll show you, there's a little button that says itemized. So the college just wants you to itemize out those tiles that you'll see, which are lodging, parking, Wi-Fi, and meals.
Yeah.
In a hotel, if you're staying at the hotel, say the Marriott, and then you go down to the dining room for dinner, you have to request an itemized receipt for that meal.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so the you'd have the itemized receipt on the hotel bill, and I'm just thinking about this because I've just done this recently.
Mm.
It'll say, breakfast or lunch, but you also need to have that receipt.
Right. And you often have to request it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Um, where's the header on the report? It will be, there's a blue line that has your name. The next line down is just a white,
Hmm.
and that's the header. That's where you can, I'll show you, where you can click in there and you can see all the receipts down the right-hand side and all the allocations as
Yeah.
well.
And we'll look at that in just a minute. And then I think we actually discussed the other
We did,
ones.
yeah.
So let's pause here. Yeah. Okay, so Paula has opened up our our Inverse Enterprise Chrome River report. So Paula, help walk us through the your side
Okay. And
here.
this is what an approver would want to do. I'm going to give you some really good tricks on how to look at things quickly. So we're going to use my previously submitted reports. These are real reports that I did in a previous life. And let's pick this great big one, $6,340. So if you click on it just one time, you can look over to the right-hand side and scroll down, and you can see the total reported. And if the employee needs a reimbursement, continue to scroll, and here's the final of the expenses. Scroll on down, and these are all the allocation, all the folks that I had to use for this particular report. So, and you're going to know your budgets. You're going to know whether this should be here or shouldn't be here. So this is just a quick view to make sure that the allocations are done correctly and they don't have to be journal entry later, which just eats up your time. Okay, so we're going to open this report. And it's opening. Can you speed that up for me?
Yes, I'm going to put it on fast forward. We're going to speed it up. Hmm. We hope you're doing great today.
Oh my gosh, why is this being so slow? So while we're waiting for it to open, this tracking button, which just disappeared, I'll show you another time. Okay, so here it is open, and I don't mean you have to analyze every piece and part, but for example, if you trust that this is a teaching supply, then you approve it, and it turns out to be a Dyson vacuum cleaner mailed to their home, you're both responsible for that. So just do a quick look through here. Once you click on it, you can see the description. Here's the merchant. Make sure these allocations are correct. And here's a comment that I had to make. Rationale splits based on target actuals. And here's the receipts. No, excuse me. This is the summer agenda that I had to attach. Here's the receipt. And you just kind of quickly look at it, make sure it's not a personal item shipped to their home. And meals. Let's look at a meal here, $91 meal. And there are my guests, every one of them. And if you fail to add guests, then it looks like that $91 meal or this $209 meal was all yours.
Oh,
And
goodness.
then auditor can assume you bought that for your family and friends.
Gotcha.
That's the purpose of putting the guests in there to substantiate the business purpose of that expense. Um, let's see, what else? KFC, dinner, purpose, and guests. So something the supervisor responsible for the type, so that's why you want to open the
Mhm.
receipts and make sure it is a true business expense and not a personal expense. And was the cost the most economical they could have received?
Mhm.
Did they look around or did they take the first flight out and it was $900 and they could have booked a $300 flight?
Yeah.
Um, and the FOB, I showed you where to look at the FOBs, and
Yeah.
that's it, really.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. And whether it makes sense if
right.
somebody's going to a Mickey D's and their meal was $20 versus $80.
Versus $150 steak dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So those are some things that you want to look for.
yeah. Just make sure it makes sense, and follows the policies. Um, if they have, for example, if a couple of faculty members went to lunch and had a glass of wine and there were no external guests, then they will have to reimburse the college for the wine. No shame in that. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. What are some other things? Um, and I'm always available if you have any questions. Team me. You can set up an appointment with me and meet with me. I'll be glad to help you. Um, hmm,
That sounds good.
yeah, sounds good.
I think the last thing I'll say is keep in mind that when Paula is asking for more information, she is just doing her job. And please, please get back to her. Ask your colleagues to get back to her in a timely manner. So I'm sure that they would all appreciate that.
Oh, very much so. Um, the the policy actually does state that every purchase made on behalf of the college must have an itemized receipt and supporting documentation so an auditor can view and see, oh, that was the business purpose. Without it, again, they make assumptions, and that's a ding on us.
Yeah.
And that's a ding on you if you have to reimburse the college.
Yeah. All right, I think that covers
Yeah,
about everything.
all right.
Please reach out to Paula if you have questions. Again, she's very willing to walk you through any
Mhm.
issue or question that you have.
Absolutely. Glad to. That's my favorite part of the job.
Yay!
Helping people. It's been fun, Mary.
Yes,
It's been
yay!
fun.
This was great. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you later.